3. Welcome to Hertz Inc. This is basically our take on things in life, but this in particular is going to be a movie review channel. We call it Movie Addicts. And it's basically us giving our take on every movie that we possibly go see, which we usually go see a movie a week. So
yeah, we thought we had some opinions out there that relate to the everyman, and we're not by no means any professionals at this, but we like to think we are. So our hubris made us make this channel.
I mean, there's gonna be times when we disagree on a lot of different movies or points of a movie, but and like I said, like I didn't say, I went back and checked out other movie reviews, and we're not that far from it. We have a valid opinion of what we think how the movie played out. So this is our attempt to teach you something about movies or give you our opinion of a movie.
And maybe you're on the fence about going to watch a movie or not, and you hear this and either convinces you to go or not, you'd be like, all right, well, we'll see how it goes. And if we get it right on the money, then hopefully we get more people to subscribe. Or maybe somebody just really hates us and they're like, let me see what they did today that's wrong. And
I'll take all your hate mail. Bring it.
I'm not going to give you an address, so you have to come find me.
So the first category is going to be new releases. So we'll always give you an update of what movies we're going to go see within the next week or two, maybe 3. It depends on how good the movies are that far in advance. So the upcoming, it's already released, but we need it for the practice because we're brand new. It's going to be Rambo, which I don't even know the actual whole name to that movie.
Last Blood?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Final Straw.
And then
End of Days, whatever. It's one of those. It's a Rambo movie.
And then also once in a while we're gonna pepper flake like Hulu movies, Netflix movies, Prime movies.
Especially when there's no movies out in the theater.
Yeah.
We're gonna have something that we create some content for.
Yeah, something.
And then the movie after that, the one that we're actually it's gonna be October 4th. Is The Joker, and that's gonna be our official release. For our channel, so this is more of a practice, but we're gonna try to have it a little more cleaned up by
polished
this.
Up.
But The Joker, that's something I'm really excited for. I love that trailer, which I hate trailers.
Yeah.
I hate trailers. I love
trailers, but it just.
We're both pumped for this movie.
Yeah, it's weird because I'm pumped because I was like, I don't like him having a backstory, but it seems like a solid backstory, but. Not really. Like, I don't know. I'm sure it'll be a good movie regardless. But.
And while we do this, we'll have people coming through. We'll have guests, wrestlers, I'm sure, with Papa's head up. I didn't introduce myself. I'm Team Mac. This is Spicy.
Yeah, we should definitely do that first.
We'll work on that.
It's a work in progress.
But we'll have wrestlers come by for sure.
Yeah.
We'll have people that either saw the movie with us or without us, but saw the movie, and then they'll give their opinion on the movie as well. So. The next segment is called Screen It or Stream It, and basically this is the movie review segment of the current movie that we just watched. And the current movie we just watched was AD Astra.
Not AD Astra.
AD Astra. And AD Astra means through the hardships to the stars. So basically it's a time travel quote. So it makes perfectly sense that they used it. I mean, not a time travel, space travel quote.
Wait, what?
It's a space travel quote, and it makes perfect sense that they used that for this movie. This movie was about astronaut Roy McBride travels to the outer edge of the solar system to find his missing father and unravel a mystery that threatens the survival of our planet. His journey will uncover secrets that challenge the nature of human existence and our place in the cosmos. It features Brad Pitt, Tommy Lee Jones, Ruth Negga, Donald Sutherland, Liv Tyler. It's directed by James Gray, who did We Own the Night and The Yards, the Marky Mark movie. And the music is done by Max Richter, and he did Shutter Island and White Boy Rick. So I'll let you lead it off.
Alright, so my take is pretty simple, I would say. Like, I really, the thing that stands out the most in this movie is definitely the cinematography. It is freaking that they made progress with it. Everything looks very like lifelike. Like it doesn't. You can't really tell a lot of it has CGI or what parts it was.
Which I've seen wasn't a lot of CGI.
Which is very impressive for a space movie.
I'm assuming the spaceship parts flying through space had to be CGI?
Yeah, well, the planets definitely have to be because there's no way they filmed in space. But
or
I don't know their budget. But yeah, that's one that they could easily win awards for, like just the views or like the wide angles, like how they panned out, or just certain action scenes. Like all that was like really well like done and clean cut. It definitely stands out as the best part of the film, I think.
I mean, right away, from the minute you sit down and they kick on, the screen opens up and you start watching the movie, right away you notice how beautiful this movie is. It's not even, you're like, okay, so I'm getting into an adventure, which is a great way to start any kind of movie.
Yeah, and the next thing that stands out is Brad Pitt. I think what he did with his character was pretty good. He's not the best at it in times, but I think that's mostly part of the script. Like I thought that it was like very emotionless. He's a very emotionless character at the beginning, kind of like just stone cold.
They make a note to tell you how
cool, calm, and collected
he was, how stable he was, how he never got excited, even when he was falling off this major high tower that could have took his life. How he just always stayed clear-headed. There's a couple of scenes like that where he takes control of certain situations, and you're like, oh, this guy's legit, you know?
Yeah, he's never gonna break. So that's the beginning of the first half. It's just like he just no emotion, no nothing, and then he gets like something breaks in him, and then the last half, or I guess last quarter of it, he's a ball of emotion.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, so this is where you gotta act your heart out, especially since it's mostly just him near the end of the movie. It's a total like. There's not like a smooth transition. It's just like, bam, emotionless, bam, emotional. Like, that's what you get.
He's narrates the whole movie. I don't love that. The one thing that I'll say is I thought that his character seemed more confused than calm. At the end of the movie, it kind of ties into it. But I really didn't love his acting in this movie. A lot of people thought he did a fantastic job, and that's fine. I wouldn't. Brad Pitt's my boy, so I'm a co-sign for this movie. But I didn't love his acting in this movie. Like it was fine. It got the point across. You know, there's certain things, but a lot of it when he was narrating, he was telling you what he was thinking versus them actually showing you what he was thinking, which means that maybe there's somebody who's thought the same thing.
Yeah, like that's what I just didn't know what. Narrating doesn't bother me in a movie. I just don't. They didn't clear cut what the narration was, because sometimes the narration is just like, well, we can't spend more time on this. We're just gonna tell you what we want you to know. And then there's small stuff where I was like, I got that. You don't need to tell me. I got it by the context clues. Like I don't know if you're trying to dumb this down for me, or it was some of the narration was unnecessary. And I was like, well, so what are you trying to do with him there? Like, it confused me more than anything. Like,
and let it be known, this is a Brad Pitt movie. Yeah. Not only is it a Brad Pitt movie, he produced it. So there's a lot of Brad Pitt.
Like, that's all, majority.
I mentioned those names at the beginning of the movie. I mean, you don't get a lot of Donald Sutherland. You don't get a lot of Tommy Lee Jones. You don't get a lot of Ruth Negga. You don't get a lot of Liv Tyler at all. She had 2 scenes, and you're like, wow, she's a great actress. Academy Award.
Killed it. I felt that.
But I mean, they all did their job. They're all in the movie, but just like
you could have replaced them with nobody characters.
You could have did what they did with way less talent and been like, okay, I get it.
We can say
Brad Pitt movie. This is I'll keep referring to it as his I Am Legend, because it's really about Brad Pitt.
So another thing is you can't go into this expecting a super science. It's kind of grounded in science. There's some concepts and aspects that I really liked about it, like that tower building part, or the part where he goes to the moon and it's just like another airplane flight. And with technology going the way it is, I'm sure that's very possible.
Yeah.
But then there's some aspects of it where you're like, Like, that's not something very feasible, or they didn't put a lot of emphasis on it.
There's a scene on Mars, and he's trying to catch his ride, and I swear I was like, that would never be. It wouldn't be that easy. But that's neither here nor there. It didn't take away from the movie. It just made me go,
yeah, like
that's a little rough.
Yeah, I was like, okay, and it goes back to one of my points. I think that like movies that are more try to be grounded in like a science, like they get more heavily critiqued because you're like, that would never happen. You're trying to convince me that all this can happen, and some of it, I guess, could be possible in the future. You don't know, but like they get a little heavier critiqued because of it.
Because of science fiction.
And then, like, to me, like, there was a part where I was like, well, I guess I could, there's a part where he gets a tear in the suit and he just holds it. and I'm like, I don't think that's how that works. But then again, I don't build suits for astronauts or anything.
There's a part where he just pulls duct tape out of his ass and duct tape. I was like, where the fuck did you get duct tape from, bro? Oh, that's the essential part of your uniform? Nah.
Oh, I mean, we could duct tape this together? Man, duct tape must be like worth billions in the future.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he could have fixed every one of the humans' problems with if he had a hammer.
Maybe it was it was a Flex Seal.
So, those are the little stuff like that where you go, I don't know. So the one thing I love the cinema, I love the visual is stunning right away. His acting is par for the course of a person that like it really showed. He really did kind of stand out when he was flying through space and he was by himself. There's the desolation of space and how lonely it must be. I mean, he was gone for a long time, so it had to be. So it had to be one of those things where like. I was watching a movie the other day, and it was like, they call it the Bing, because when you're in a prison and you're in there anything over 30 days, your mind goes Bing. Well, he was in the spaceship well over 30 days. Yeah, and so it would take an emotional toll on you, so that could have a part of how he played in. There's a lot of plot holes where you go, that would not necessarily. It doesn't seem like that would affect this that way, or why did it reach that far? And if it does affect us that way, then why are we going to do what we do to stop it? Like the two don't coincide. It seems like instead of trying to contain it, they're trying to destroy it. That doesn't make sense. But we're also instead of a sci-fi, this is more of a psychological thriller in the aspect of you got to pay attention to the psychology of how long he has been in space versus his dad. His dad's in space, and he's really going to meet him, and he's been there for a long time by himself, and that starts to play a part in it at the end of the day. And his dad, let me tell you, you think you got it bad? His dad was an asshole.
But then again, but I guess you could say that, but his dad has been in space
way longer,
and you can tell he's like Tommy Lee Jones played a really good. Fucking emotionally torn down guy.
Played a good heel.
Basically. I was like, oh man, dick move after dick move after dick move.
And it wasn't complex. He was telling you what he was doing and he didn't care. He was like, this is why. Yeah. I mean, it basically because he felt like he failed because he was sent out there for a reason and it never panned out. Yeah. And then they found nothing and that kind of just broke him. Yeah. But there's so much involved in this movie where you go, like I get where I get where they were going with it, but you're telling us a lot of information that really wasn't pertinent to the story, and then leaving us going. So,
and then the information you did give us, you're like, oh, so that's not gonna pan out. So, what's gonna happen? Consequences?
Yeah,
like there's some stuff he did that I'm like, that has to pan out somewhere. Yeah. Comes back and it just
there's a part at the end where the guy where he does something so unfeasible to the point where you're like, it made me chuckle in the movie theater out loud, like no, well, get the fuck out of here with that. That would never happen. It would never happen. But with all that said, we call this segment Screening and Streaming for a reason. Yeah. and it's to hopefully coerce you or help you make your decision to go see this movie in theater or not. So we can maybe be saving you some money. But on this one, I would say see it in the movie theater. The visual alone, you could watch this movie without sound and be like, this is fantastic.
Yeah, same for me. If sci-fi is one of your things, you know,
Especially
science, like
psychology.
It's like psychology thriller. It's even a little bit of like a Sundance-y kind of film because it's very one character driven.
Let me rephrase that. It's slow,
but it does have its high points, and when it does bring its action sequences in, it does keep you on your edge of your seat. You're like, oh man, like it does get your heart racing a little bit.
It does.
So like it does have both pros and cons for it. But yeah, if those things you hit your boxes on things you like in movies, you definitely should screen it.
So it gets a screening from T-Mac.
Yeah, it gets a screening from me.
Okay. All right. So this segment we're calling Bring It Back. So this is a movie that's going to be similar to the movie that we viewed in the theater, and then we're going to give you something that maybe you have seen or you want to go back and see. It's just our suggestion of movies that are similar and reasons why. So the movie that we picked is Interstellar. It's Matthew McConaughey. I don't know who directed it. We will look that up on next one.
Christopher Nolan.
Was that Chris? Oh, that is Christopher Nolan. That's James Gray. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's a Christopher Nolan movie. So it's long.
And Hathaway's in it.
Yeah, she is. And other people. Ben Affleck's brother's in it. Casey Affleck.
Oh, he's in it too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jessica Chastain.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Matt
the
Damon.
guy from... Yeah, Matt Damon's in it too, yeah.
That guy.
To me, it's a really good first hour and 15, 20-minute movie, and then there's 20 minutes involved where I don't really like. It has to do with the inner workings of how time and space and gravity all coincide and why we got to that point and how we got to that point. Wasn't my favorite part. So it brought the movie from a must-watch for me to I'm gonna watch it, but I hate this part. So I never rewatched it. I watched it in theater when I went to see it, and I was like, oh, this is a good movie. And then when I went back and watched it right now, I was like, God, I fucking hate this part of the movie. I had the same feeling that I had when I had the movie, so I wasn't off base for me, you know. Matthew McConaughey did a good. The cast did a great job. It's well written for a majority of it. They had It was visually stunning, and it was graphically. I don't know if I want to say that. We'll edit that. Yeah. It was visually stunning, and take it for a grain of salt, but I still think it's really relevant to Ad Astra.
Yeah, it's definitely in the same realm, like space. That has more sci-fi or more theory or theoretical science to it.
Yeah.
Because like the wormholes, being able to travel through them and what they do. And
we don't have any idea about that.
Yeah, so like, and for the most part, you're like, oh, okay, that does seem all feasible, and especially the beginning part where Earth's like falling apart, so we definitely overpopulated. You can't build stuff, global warming, that kind of stuff.
No food.
Yeah, so all that, I'm like, okay,
dusty, no water.
Yeah, shitty,
it's fucked up.
And I can see how that, like all that would pan out in the future. Right now, like it's becoming relevant now, I guess, or it always was relevant. Just now people are putting more focus on it. But it's the same thing, and that brings back to Ad Astra. Like they are trying to save the Earth essentially in both movies, and plus like it also like Interstellar, the cinematography is great on it. Like that Waterworld planet thing, I was like, oh man, that was dope. And then even the one where they find Matt Damon. Like that was all visually stunning, even the one in space. And then it gets to like the more like where I was like, I'm not a scientist, but like
I don't think it's gonna work like that.
I don't think it works like that, but then again, I don't know. It's all theoretical. In the future, they could be like, "That's exactly how it works." And I'd be like, "All right, well,
and
I'm dead." So.
The crazy part is like he was on board with scientists, and they're like, "Oh, blah blah blah." So you don't have anybody's word dictate but there. So
yeah.
they did it. It happened.
I guess if I watched it with Neil deGrasse or something, like, I'd be like, "Bro, tell me if this works.
Tell me if it's feasible."
That's all I need to know. But Yeah, like it's definitely a very similar one. Like if that one really caught your eye, or you're like, oh, it's really good. It's really because it's pretty well acted, and other than the plot holes, like that kind of unavoidable, especially if it's science, it's kind of your imagination. Like this is what you want to do. I'm sure Christopher Nolan is like, this is how I want my script to say, and if he had people helping him, it's like, how can I get this to this? Like
the one part that I know I don't want to go too far into this. It's a movie that you should watch. But the one part that I wanted to go is like they could have made it where they're like, oh, I figured it out. Boom, we should do this, and then that. But then that was too straightforward, and so they had to do something to get you to go. Well, all right, I guess we already did this trip anyway. Like so. With that being said, like it's relevant to the movie that we just watched.
Yeah, so definitely, if you like that one, you definitely gonna like this one. This is if this was like if this is your 3 or 4 or 5 stars was Interstellar, then you should definitely watch this one.
Yeah,
it's similar in a lot of aspects, and cinematography is great. The action sequences are
The
great.
director did a really great job, of course, because it's Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, so like it's definitely very similar, and if you like that one, you'll definitely like this one. So that's, I guess, I take on one.
You check
similar?
it out. We call it you check it out.
Yeah, you check out both of them. If you like this one, definitely check out the other one. But if you haven't seen this one, check it out anyways. It's really good movie. Yeah.
And this is the segment where we go subscribe, like, share.
Follow us.
Please.
Like here.
Feedback.
Feedback is like,
feedback.
Yeah, you could hit like, hit don't like. If you don't like, tell us why. And words.
Let us know where we're going wrong.
Yeah.
Because we won't get better if you don't tell us.
Tell us how we can make it better, how you can't. We'll either be like, oh, he has a point, or look out of here with that. But either way, we'll try to respond. And get
bring
going.
the hate mail, bring the love. We love both. I'll take it how I get it.
Yeah, we also have other content, but mostly podcast form. So if you want to check that out, that's on Facebook. All you gotta do is
Four
search
Tops No Filters.
Four Tops No Filters. We have a lot more content that has a lot more variety in there.
We'll be dropping the rest of our other social media sites once we get them popping.
We try to.
I haven't decided yet.
For Facebook, for sure, we'll put the link in the description.
Yeah.
And you can check us out there. That one we talk. In the Four Tops, we bring a lot of stuff, just social, movies, music, art. I think we talked about.
Yeah.
Yoga we talked about. We talk about a lot more variety of stuff, and that one's way.
We also do
way more like.
We also do a segment every week called This or That, and it'll be basically we'll be revealing those on the future episodes of this, the answers to those of who actually won what, and it's usually movie based, something similar to like Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, blah blah blah.
Yeah, so check us out. Click and subscribe, all that jazz. I'm sure we'll get a better script down as this time goes.
Yeah,
Again, this is just a really rough draft, just to get us going and get us out there. So.
Just remember, the show's rated MA for movie addicts.
Yeah.